Hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here again. Today I am so excited because I have one of my favorite founders from Spain, Javier. Thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. So Javier is from Barcelona.
Yeah.
He knows a lot of healthcare, but he has a background in law, which is very interesting. But I think that the law is everywhere. He's here because he wanna share with us his journey as an entrepreneur, as a founder trying to go into the US, succeed in the US, and try to change thousands or maybe millions of lives of people that want to really improve their health and their lives and everything. So, first, who is Javier? Who are you doing? And what is Gala?
Javier is just like a regular guy from Barcelona with ambitious goals to build a global company. And I was born and raised in Barcelona, went to law school, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life actually. I've always tried to be an entrepreneur and to build companies. But it wasn't until 3 years ago that I really decided to, leave, well, first build a company in Spain and then leave Spain to the US to start building Gala. What is Gala? Gala is a telehealth platform where we offer affordable medications for thousands of patients here in the US. Our focus is in the US, and we're starting with GLP-1 therapy, but we have on our pipeline other treatments like testosterone treatment, HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, longevity, and other therapies.
Wow, that is amazing. I love it. Actually, we was discussing that I am personally interested because in this moment I think that we want healthy lives, but now we want longer lives. We want to live better and longer, and we now have more awareness about what we need to do with our healthcare. But I think that solutions like that is a new chance for thousands that actually want to live better, longer, because we are having kids older. So exactly, because that is the thing. So I want to have kids in my 40s, but I want to see grow up my kids, my grandkids. So if I want to be healthy in my 100s,
Yeah,
I need you.
it's exactly what you said, because it's not only like living more years, but having more energy on those years. So when you're 80 or 90, you should be able to have way more energy than we have today. So these treatments and these tools that are appearing, these new peptides, are helping people on those ages, 80 years old, 90 years old, to feel much better, with much more energy, and like live a different life in that stage.
Okay, okay. I love it. But I have a question. So you are from Europe.
I am.
Actually, the longevity rates in Spain actually is one of the best in the world. I mean, if you compare US rates of longevity and Spain, Italy, is so much better. But it's not just the time, it's the quality too, because less rates of cardiovascular diseases and a lot of things. So my question is, do you think that that is any approach that you could do from that to the US? I mean, I want to understand better that.
I mean, I think it's a different lifestyle in Spain. Like, we walk more, we have a better diet, a Mediterranean diet,
Delicious one.
delicious one. This is just like everything's different, and the consumer behavior is different. The quality of food in Europe is much better than in the US. The food habits are different. But hopefully now in the US we have tools like GLP-1 treatments that can help people like take better decisions, because at the end of the day these tools help people take better decisions and have less food noise and have more self-control. And I think I don't know, it was last year, it was the first time that obesity rates dropped in the US.
Really?
Yeah, for the last
Oh.
50 years. So it's like something's changing here, and we're really having an impact. So maybe it's not the Spanish lifestyle that they're adopting, but we have new tools to help Americans live healthier.
Okay, so that made me think of another issue. So maybe that is the reason because you are looking for the US market, because do you think that here you have more work to do? I want to understand why you was, moving yourself of trying to expand your company to the US instead do that in Europe.
Well, the US is the greatest market on earth. We have 300 million people.
300 million.
Yeah, well, 350 million, but 300 million adults that are willing to improve their health. 70% of them are overweight or obese. So it's just like a huge market
No,
with
really?
a very consumer mindset. It's a very different approach than in Europe. In Europe, there's like a set of states, like different states with different social security coverage that we don't have in the US. So in the US, you need to be creative and you can really have more impact. And there's like a growing demand. It's like the spend on health in the US is the one that is growing the most. The trend that is growing faster than any other trend on consumer behavior. So we're seeing more and more every year, thousands and millions of Americans investing more in their health. So that's why, as we were building the company in Spain, we decided to contact you guys to, at VisaHub to move to the US and really try to create the company here and build a business here.
Yeah, that is very interesting because, for example, what I see in founders is that they are creating amazing things from different countries, and you could start working since, from Spain, Europe, wherever you are, you located. But in one moment, especially in healthcare, you must to live in the US because you need to be immersed in the healthcare system, in the legislation, the entrance barriers, because in healthcare is a lot. So you need to be here, you need to have work permit. I mean, it's a lot of limitation with the visa, tourist visa and everything. So that is actually very important because sometimes you could jeopardize your company and your entire process if you don't do the things in the correct way.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you want to build a business in the US, you need to be in the US. If the pharmacies are in the US, your patients are in the US, your providers are in the US, you need to be here. So you need to get your visa, you need to get your legal status set up, and just like do things the right way.
Yeah, that is correct. So I have another question for you. So what is your strategy to try to reach more users? Because, for example, in this moment, your service is out of pocket or the insurance are covering that. So how is that working?
So Gala GLP-1, we only work out of pocket. So we don't work with insurance companies. It's a totally different business. We focus on people who have been excluded of their insurance plans for certain conditions like obesity, and we offer the most affordable prices in the US for those medications. That's what we do.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so we basically offer cheap medications, or cheaper than the market, with a very good experience. And that's what we do. Like, people who are left behind by insurance companies come to us, and they're really happy because they have changed their lives. They've dropped pounds and at an affordable price. So that's our goal, to reach millions and help millions live healthier with a good experience.
Yeah, I love it. Another question is, for example, in your solution, do you include additionally any lifestyle changes, or is just the medication?
Yeah, so with our subscription, it covers everything. We offer the prescription, we offer the medication, the shipping, and we also offer optional care coaching sessions that help patients ensure that they are on the right track, on top of unlimited provider visits, video call visits with the providers. So we are definitely starting to add more benefits to our subscription. It's not just the medication, but also care coaching sessions, provider visits, to make sure that they are on the right path.
Okay. Oh, I love it because I think that is a good, compliment because after, okay, I if I could lose weight, that is amazing, but I need to have a different lifestyle. I mean, try to educate myself, maybe a little Mediterranean diet doesn't hurt to try to, okay, because what's gonna happen next? I mean, my goal is be healthy, so how are I gonna eat enough protein and everything? Because well, I mean, I am an immigrant myself too, and I see that here in the US, it's very easy to gain, weight.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen, but like if you go to a supermarket, the healthier foods are the more expensive ones. You can get
Yeah.
like a burger for, I don't know, $3, but you cannot get like like a good salad, or like the ingredients for a salad for $3. You're gonna be spending like $12 here, at least in San Francisco where we're based. So it's complicated to really have or get healthy food. You go to Whole Foods and the prices are like crazy high, at least compared to Europe and other countries.
Yeah, that is true. I think that just one tomato is $3. One organic tomato. No, that is true.
A big one, a big one.
Yeah, a big one is very expensive. That is right. So how are you managing that, for example, with your clients? Because maybe they could afford the medication to lose weight, but how could be the challenge when you can afford healthy food?
What we're doing is like, well, the medication what does is it removes food noise, so they don't have so much cravings. So yeah, so they don't have that constant hunger. So it helps. It's a tool, but it helps take better decisions and better health decisions. So that's one thing we're trying also with the care coaching sessions, like guide them through their GLP-1 journey. I think everybody needs support. I need support, and our patients need support, and we're trying to ensure that they have like the necessary tools to take better decisions. And then at the end of the day, the medication helps with that.
Okay, no, yeah, I love it. I am personally interested. So, Javier, another question. I mean, what you are doing is amazing in healthcare, and I think that you are solving a very important problem because I think that it's a lot of opportunities. I don't know in which stage are you working, but for example, in Texas, because I live in Texas, I mean, I live in Florida, Texas, and now California. And in Texas, I mean, it's very, very problematic. The obesity and overweight rates is, I think, that one of the biggest in the US. So I think that is amazing. I don't know if you sell in Texas.
No, yeah, we are nationwide. We sell to all 50 states. We work with pharmacies across all states. We have patients in all states. So it launched with that nationwide approach from the very beginning. We make sure we get to all Americans that want to reach us. We don't sell to Puerto Rico. That's the only thing. But we sell to all 50 states, even Alaska and Hawaii. So we have patients there. Yeah, there are some states that they have like a highest rate of obesity. I would say like maybe states like West Virginia or Kansas, or those states.
Yes.
They have like a higher, or even Texas.
Louisiana too. No.
Louisiana too. But to be honest, like I think the state where we have the most patients is California, just like because it's like the state with more people.
No, but what I see is that sometimes it's because California, you see, is very open-minded. The people is well educated. Sometimes when you have more awareness, even if you have less need, you use more the service, because maybe in Texas or Kansas the people need you the most, but without the awareness, maybe California is your top client.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, and I don't want to generalize. Like, I just like talk about data, but if you look at our patients, it correlates with the population of the state. So we have the most of our patients are in California, Texas, New York, the biggest states. It's like,
Okay, yeah, but that is true. This is biggest.
yeah.
was, I mean, this in healthcare is very important, and but I am curious, how was the transition, from law, from working in political campaigns, marketing for, something different, to this? I mean, because I am trying to see how may you made this decision to go into this path.
Yeah, so what happened here is like I've always been an entrepreneur. Like while being in the university, I tried to like run a food truck business, and we like set a food truck outside parties, just like to sell, like food, and it didn't work out. But I tried, and also tried to build an AI psychologist with my now co-founder Federico. So I've tried things before, but after I went to law school, I wanted to, like I decided to follow that path that led me to politics, and I did like I work in political campaigns, and I did like communication strategy for political figures, and that made me learn a lot of stuff. But I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and already tried several times. And so when I talked to my co-founder to start building something in health, because that's one thing that we've already tried. We just like started. We didn't wait for the right time. I just quit my job and started building. He was on another company, and I was like in another company. I quit. And he quit later, like 1.5 years later. But I just quit it and started working on it without reassurance, with like little savings, and started building a healthcare company in Spain. And that was not very profitable, but I learned a lot. There was like a lot of losses, and that's but also like a lot of successes in learning and with patients. And we built an AI nutritionist, the first one in Spain, from scratch with AI. It was something that gained like a lot of media attention, but we saw that if we wanted to build something big and that has real impact, we need to move to the US. So yeah, that's kind of the story. When you're an entrepreneur, and you're an entrepreneur yourself, Adriana, so you just start. You don't wait for the perfect moment, because like if you wait for the perfect moment, you'll never start. There's no perfect moment to start a company.
Yeah. No, I love it. Actually, that is the spirit from the true believers, because you need to jump, and after jump, just try to figure it out, where is the floor when you're gonna land, because that is what you do, and that is the experience. Actually, the people don't take risk because they don't like too much, and that is when you see that the people delay decision. But I think that you are like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I think that's a misconception, right? Like in today's world, not taking risk is like the major risk. Like you can take a risk, and you can like go back and have a job in 1 year, and the best master is just like building a company. It's like there's nothing like building a company. You're learning finance and marketing and customer experience, customer support, sales. You learn everything. You have to do everything yourself. So that's my take. My take is like, once you're an entrepreneur, first, you don't want to go back to be an employee. That's my perception, at least for me. And the second thing is like, you get way better at what you do. You learn a lot. So that's, for me, that's the biggest risk, not taking that risk, not jumping when
that is
scary.
And I think that the most important part in your case is that you are saving lives, because what you are doing is not selling something, you are changing life, because it's people that maybe was trying to lose weight for a long time, that is affecting their overall condition in their health, no?
Yeah, like, and there's been a major drop on cardiovascular deaths in the US, thanks to reducing obesity, and what we're doing is saving lives, but it also is changing a lot of lives. People who, didn't feel confident in their body, or didn't want to go to the beach and wear a bikini in front of their friends, or being nude in front of their partner. There's like a lot of trauma and stigma around it, and they have like a second chance. And it's one of the greatest things about this business, because you're helping people and they're being grateful for it. You're giving affordable medication to a life-changing affordable access to a life-changing medication. That's it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, I know. I know how hard is dealing with that, especially when you are a woman.
Yeah.
So, Javier, another question. Usually, when you are a founder that comes from another country to the US and you succeed and everything, that sounds very good. But the ugly part of the story, which nobody talk and nobody say anything, but now is more important than ever, is the immigration side of any business plan. Because because what you say is correct. If you have a business in the US, you must be here. So I know a lot of founders running business from overseas, and it's like, really, I mean, that depends. If maybe you are a coach or you want something small, yes, okay, maybe you could do some money. But if you really want to do something big, you must be here. But nobody talk about the immigration side. So I think that you was very aware about that part. So I want to know more about how was your immigration path, what do you did. But the first, when you decide to come to the US and you was aware about, okay, what I need to do. So I want to hear all the story about the immigration side.
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to go to the US, and a friend of mine, Maria, recommended VisaHub, and I've always been kind of I've always worked with referrals. I trust people, and that people recommend me people, and that's how I work. So I knew I had to get a visa. I need I wanted my green card. And so Maria told me, like, I've been like with these lawyers, and it's been a mess, because first there's this O1 visa, and then the EB1 visa, and then there's the green card, and it felt very fuzzy to me, and I did not understand the several paths, and I was like trying to understand, talking to ChatGPT, like, hey, how does this work? What is the best path? Like, and that's how I came to VisaHub. And like, once I submitted like the papers and all the documentation, it was like 20 days. 20 days from not having a visa, any kind of visa in the US, well, just like the tourist visa, to getting the green card, to getting the EB1 visa. So that gives you the green card. So I'm super grateful, Adriana. I think like it's been a wonderful experience for me personally. And yeah, so I came to VisaHub because of our referral, and it went everything smooth. I mean, it was not difficult for me. I know people have deal with this for years, with visa and immigration, and I have
10 years is the average.
H1B, and then I have my O1, and they all have my F1, and I get, I don't know, like, there's like a lot of, this, when you talk to immigrant founders in San Francisco, for example, that's the first thing, like one of the most common topics is talking about the visas. What visa are you on? What are you trying? It was very smooth for me, the whole process. I just like, I prepare everything with VisaHub from Spain. It really went very smooth once I got all the documentations.
Okay, so for example, I know that you went here with your tourist visa, which actually is something very important that I recommend to the founders interested to relocate to the US and everything. You need to explore, you need to see if you really want to be here. But it's very important understand, what you do and what you can do with the tourist visa. So, for example, Javier is a good example about what you need to do with the tourist visa and what kind of things you need to do overseas in your home country. So, for example, how was your experience here exploring first with your tourist visa?
I was getting to know the US. I was in San Francisco for a couple months, understanding, how the country works. And yeah, I recommend it. Like, if you want to move to another country eventually, you need to understand what is this country about. So yeah, that's how I did it. It was a very smooth process, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. That is perfect. You need to explore, do networking, see the potential that you could explore here and everything. That is very important. So when you receive, I mean, after the submission of the EB1, how long takes to receive your approval response?
It took me 20 days. I think I went with the premium processing,
Yes. Uh-huh.
and it took 20 days.
Okay. Wow. Perfect.
Yeah. So like if I had like signed all the documentation to VisaHub in a month, I would have had the EB1 approved in 1 month and a half.
Yes, that is right. Actually, Javier, something that I think about the immigration paths is I mean Javier was aware about relocate and move to the US. That is very important because from the very beginning you was clear about your goals. But what I see sometimes is a lot of founders like you that they have clear that they want to live here in the US, but they have a very ridiculous long paths, like you say, H1Bs, O1s, and they renovate the O1s for several times, and after 10 years, they say, okay, the EV1 now. So why?
I don't know, like and I didn't know. Like, I just, like, when I talked to Maria, or a common friend, the co-founder of SharPay, she told me, like, I found like VisaHub that they tell me that it's possible to get the green card, the EB1 approved automatically without going through the O1 and those 3 years. And I was like, okay, so why would anyone do the O1? And I understand that there's different paths and different cases, but it doesn't hurt to explore those paths and understand if maybe an EB1 applies to you, and you don't have to go through a long path via O1 or H1B or whatever. So I did that. I explored those paths with you guys, and it worked out. So.
Yeah, that is correct. No, but what you say is fine because, for example, from some countries like India or China, the EV1 is not available immediately like you. They have a time, a wait line.
Yeah.
So, for example, for India, for the EV1, the wait line is like 2 years and a half. So, for example, in that cases, get the O1 first is a good strategy, especially if there have before that a student visa or another visa that is not stable. But for people that is not from India or China, the EV1 could be a direct path to the green card without the O1. So the only thing that maybe depends is if you are in rush, if you are in hurry, if you need to be here like in 2 months. Okay, if you are in that rush, maybe the O1 could be the easiest way because it's very fast. So you could get the O1 in 2-3 months, maybe less. But if you could wait a little bit more, I mean, because the total timeline for the EV1 since the preparation of the file, submission, approval, and after that, the consular process, that is the interviews, medical exams, could be 6 to 8 months, maybe 9, which is actually short, but no, like 1 or 2 months.
Yeah.
So that depends. If you are in such hurry, maybe the one. But if you could wait that, I highly recommend you that the EV1 too.
Yeah, me too. Well, I don't have the, I've been approved for the EB1, but so far it's been a very smooth process. I can tell that. Maybe it's my case, I don't know, but it's definitely worth it to explore all the possibilities.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, Javier is very talented. Because EV1 is actually the highest category forget the visas. And for example, now, since yesterday, the President Trump launched the gold card. So now the gold card is $1 million per person. So
I don't have that.
I know, but it's the equivalent, Javier, because the gold card is 1 million per person. So for example, in the case of Javier, is Javier plus the wife. So it's 2 millions. But instead to pay the 2 millions, so you have the EV1, so you don't pay 2 millions. He pays so much, less. But it's a comparison. I mean, if you see the benefit that you get from immigration is value in 2 millions.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think most people cannot afford, the gold card.
I think that is a minority who could afford that.
Yeah, like just like spending, even if you have 1 million, you don't spend it only on that. So it's like only for very wealthy people. That's a reality. Most of us just like have to go like the regular path, as everyone.
Yeah. But if you see why, if they are charging 2 millions, Javier have this one is because the EV1 is the extraordinary abilities. So for the US, what you are doing is very important because with your company, you have the potential to help millions of Americans to have better lives, healthy lives, So if you see, it's like, okay, I don't want to charge you the 2 millions, so bring me to me the benefit.
Yeah, no, that's the goal. It's a win-win. I think the US, it's a great country, and they want great people who can build business and help people and make America healthy and also like build jobs and create wealth.
Yeah, that is correct. So Javier, I actually want to close this session with something. I mean, founders have the potential to change lives, for an entire country. For example, if you see Uber, Airbnb, that is not just a startup. Thanks to Uber, millions of people have jobs. You see, because it's not just in the US, it's everywhere. Thanks to Airbnb, I mean, Airbnb is a new economy. A lot of people actually makes incomes from the Airbnb business around the globe, not just in the US. So the startup spirit is that you are building something big that could change thousands or maybe millions of lives, what you are doing with that Gala. So what could be your message to these founders that maybe they have doubts, they are insecure, they don't know if going to the US or not, they are not sure about quit the job or just be full-time in their dreams? What you could say for these people?
I mean, I would say, like, if you are sure you want to do this, you need to go all the way, and there's gonna be a rough path, especially in the first years. And I had myself a rough path, and it was difficult, and no one believes in you at during a long time, and you need to find those first checks and those first customers, and like it's a mess, and you think you're not gonna make it, but you need to don't give up until get a little bit of luck and get lucky. And if you don't give up for 2 years, 3 years, and you really believe you want to do this, eventually things happen, and you can find a path to profitability, and you can find a path to growth. And that's what happened with us. Like we went through the pivot hell, and it was very complicated. But we kept going, and not just like for the sake of it. We pivoted, we iterated until we find something that really like worked, and from there we just like scaled. So I would say, just if you really want to do this, just like don't give up and give yourself the time to get lucky.
Okay, yeah, that is true, but it's hard. It's hard because especially at the beginning, because now it's like, oh, bravo, you have your green card, you raise money, you are growing. But in the beginning, when the things are ugly, and nobody believes, and maybe the people think that you are a fool because you quit your corporate job, or you are leaving your family.
I could write a book about that, you know.
Yeah, exactly, because the
Yeah.
story is very amazing. Is a career change, you know, but you change everything.
And you have imposter syndrome, right? Like you don't come from these fancy, Stanford, Harvard universities. You have your studies and stuff, but you don't have a network in the U.S. You don't have anyone in the U.S. You don't know anyone American. I did not know a single person, a single American when I came here. As
From scratch.
yeah, from scratch. So you need to build everything from the ground up. But I think you will always have that imposter syndrome, and you just like have to go through it. And eventually, like, if you keep going and you don't really care that much about what people think and what people say, things get better. So yeah.